Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, good afternoon. Thank you for coming here with us today. My name is Helen. On behalf of Pharma Company Limited, it's my pleasure to welcome you all here for today's XR demonstration. So before we get started, I would like to briefly introduce our company to you all first. Pharma Company Limited, HPCL, is one of the Hong Kong's largest audio and visual rental house, providing the latest LED panel and image processing technology in the industry. Founded in 1984, our business was first established in Hong Kong, then expanded to several regions in Greater China, and further to United States within the past 37 years. Our clients include international organizations, production houses, and corporations, such as CES, Jack Morton, you can see Microsoft, etc. And also, we also maintain a very close relationship with some of the Hong Kong most famous five-star hotels, such as Four Seasons, Grand Hyatt, Conrad, Mandarin Oriental, and so. And also, investment banks like UBS or Citibank are also our long-term clients. Our core business can be divided into 6 categories, which are audio, video, lighting, display, technical coordination, and virtual conference. Firstly, our audio equipment comprises of amplifiers, microphones, mixers, speakers, and etc., and which can suit our clients' needs in different event scales and venue. Also, we have our own simultaneous interpreting system, which can fulfill our clients with multilingual needs in their live event. And for video, we have a good combination of projectors, switchers, cameras, and recorders from brands such as Sony, Panasonic, Barco, which are some famous brands. And we also provide lighting solutions that cater for each situation or different event scenario with a full range of lighting system and dimmers and LED light. We also provide a number of display options such as LED wall, TV plasma, Ultra 4K, and touchscreen monitor in a variety of sizes from top-selling brands like Samsung, LG, Panasonic, Sharp, etc. And to help our clients to transform the way of their meeting needs under this pandemic situation since past year, we also offer our customer a one-stop virtual meeting production service to enhance their event quality and security, providing not only this kind of hardware rental, but also a team of professional technicians to provide pre-event planning, on-site coordination, and also post-event editing. Here you can see this example of one of our clients in a virtual webinar production. We are helping them to do pre-recording and also some live green screen shooting and webcasting and so on. And I just mentioned a term green screen before for virtual conference, which is still currently the most common technique to compositing a presenter and a virtual background layer together to create a special visual effect. As technology is getting more and more developed and due to the technological advancement, our customers are constantly seeking more effective way to enhance their event quality to their audience. And that will bring us to today's topic, extended reality. So extended reality, XR, is a combination of augmented reality, AR, and mixed reality, MR, to blend the physical and virtual worlds together. It can provide a more interactive and more engaging experience to both the speakers and the viewers. But what kind of effect exactly it will be, and what do we need to do to achieve this kind of effect? So now, without further ado, I will pass the stage to Kevin from Disguise to show us more about the extended reality. Kevin, please. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Helen. Thank you. Welcome everybody, and once again, thank you very much for Pharma for providing this wonderful space for me to do a presentation. And before I actually jump into to talk a little bit about extended reality, I would like to take a short moment to just introduce to you guys exactly who is this guys. Some of you guys may know us about or know of us as D3, and we're just sort of the same company. We're called Disguise now. And I'm just going to take a short moment and play a show reel for us, for you guys, so that you guys can take a look at what some of the things that people have used our products for. A lot of people have used our software and hardware to imagine, to create, and also to deliver some of the most spectacular visual experience. And you'll be able to see some of those examples right over here. You see a lot of concert tours. That's one of our main verticals that we've been doing for many years. There's a BTS tour. And of course, TV studios, a lot of the large-scale productions, some of the singing contests like that, or even into fixed installation, interactive installations, media facades, to projection mapping, large-scale projection mapping for products or for music festivals. Here you've got corporate events, theaters as well. So basically, anytime you would like to try to use video to try to tell a story, no matter what the medium is, whether it'll be on projection surfaces, on LED panels, on TV monitors, or mixing all of those things together, you can come and think about us and see how we can help you to imagine, to create, and deliver some of those experiences for you. And moving on, just to give you guys an understanding of what we actually provide for everybody, we actually write our own software and create our own hardware, and there's a marriage of the two things together to deliver some of those shows that you saw earlier in the video. And of course, in any kind of projects, we do have a lot of integrations with other third-party systems. So here we've got an integration of over 70 different brands or protocols. And just give you guys a bit of a background, our headquarters is in London, and then we've got colleagues in Barcelona. In US, we've got New York and LA as offices. Here, of course, is Hong Kong. That's where I'm based out of. And the APAC team is based out of. And then also we've got a China team based out of Shanghai, and then Tokyo and Seoul for Japan and Korea, respectively. So basically, any time zone you can think of, any time in the day, we've got someone who's awake and will be working and be able to answer you guys any questions that you guys have. And just to go back, just to give you guys an idea, we've been in this industry for quite some time now. Concert tour is one of our main markets. Here we've got Justin Timberlake, Billie Eilish, Ariana Grande. In the video you saw BTS, some more like closer to home for like the Asian market as well, or Jolin Tsai from Taiwan, Wang Lihong also from Taiwan as well, we're using our products. And then also for broadcast and TV as well, so a lot of the singing contests, those large-scale productions. This is Eurovision. You've also got American Got Talent, American Idol, The Voice, Asia Got Talent, those type of kind of productions, all the way to award shows. So right over there is MTV Music Awards, the Brits Awards, the Emmys, those types of productions as well. And also for TVs, there are some special events, like right over here. This picture is for Rugby World Cup. Also, you've got FIFA World Cup, the Olympics, those types of events as well. And then moving on to more corporate side of things, these are some of the brands that have been using our products. Recently, we've also got LG did their CES launch with our products. Samsung launched their S20 with our products. So those type of events. And then, of course, mentioning about CES, all of these virtual events, just because of the current situation, people can't really travel around, or even press can't go to some of those locations. So people are picking this up, this idea of doing these kind of things as well. And then also for theaters, those are some examples from based out of London and also New York Broadway. Something a little bit closer to home, we've got House of Dancing Water, and then also MGM Macau right over upon the ferry right away. So MGM, they've been using our stuff inside their atrium, running all of their LEDs. If you guys have been to their newer MGM on the Cotai side of things, that's running all of our servers. Or even to Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, their exterior media facade is using our products as well. So a very wide range of applications depending on what you want to do. And jumping over and just want to show you and take a moment to just explain sort of the what we call the disguise workflow and how that actually helps you in a project, in a production. So to begin with, sort of step one, of course, you've got your concept. So you kind of have an idea of, okay, what concept do I want to do? I've got here as an example a projection mapping project on the Buckingham Palace. The palace is a very big building. How big of an area do you actually want to projection map onto? It's a very constant discussion between the client, how much budget you've got, also the content team. So you kind of go into, of course, you've got your initial design, whether that's a good enough scale to deliver those kind of emotions. But then also you start going to a little bit more of the detailed design, the placement of all the projectors. Does it make sense? Is it going to get in the way of other things? Do we have enough budget for those things? Is it going to be bright enough? In the same interface, you can pre-visualize all of those things. And it's a 3D software, so you can jump in and just take a look. And everyone is working in the same platform. So whether it's the end client to the artist who's creating the content for it, or the technicians and the engineers. So we kind of sit right in the middle to help everyone from the creative team and then also the engineering team, and allowing them to talk to each other using the same platform, avoiding any kind of misunderstanding or miscommunications, and using the same thing to see the whole, all of the things, and allowing that discussion to happen and see how certain changes in one aspect will affect the other, and everyone can fully understand how their decisions, what the repercussions are, and make the correct decisions for that. And then afterwards, then of course you can go into show sequencing. Our software is just a timeline software, so just like any kind of timeline software, you can just put layers upon layers, adding to the effects, compositing your look, and of course the directors or the end client can also preview all of those things. And I said we are a 3D software, so you can just put on a VR goggle and jump into that 3D space and have a full understanding of how everything is before anything is built in the real life. So you have very high confidence, and because we are the same software and the same platform that actually delivers the end show, we have a very high confidence in that sort of rendering and expressing what it all looks like at the end. And of course, once everyone is happy with the results or the design of it and sequence everything, all you need to do is load in when all the projectors are placed in the correct location, copy the project file over to our servers. That's where the software jumping over to our hardware side. Then you're able to start outputting all of those outputs to your projectors, to your LED walls, and so on. And then moving on, you've got your show rehearsal. You start integrating with the other partners, chasing time code, receiving triggers from ArtNet, from OSC, from Telnet commands, and so on. So you can receive all these triggers, allowing you to do some of these more interactive, more engaging kind of shows as well, or just synchronization across multiple different kind of systems. And then last but not least, during the show time or during the actual installation, you want to have some kind of redundancy, right? And we actually have quite a sophisticated system, quite easy to set up, but in a way it is a very wide way. How you actually use it is a one-to-many backup system. So if your machine or your system is designed to run off from, let's say, 5 servers, you don't have to get another 5 servers to do any kind of backup. You can choose to use 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on your budget, and we automatically figure out which machine has some issues. We can put that offline and bring up another machine, and then also automatically sending the commands to all the matrices to switch over. And from the audience standpoint, it's seamless, and even from the operator, you might not even need to click on anything for that to happen, for that switch over to take place. So this is just what we've been doing for many years. But of course, a lot of you guys are here to take a look at what extended reality is about. Before I jump into some of the technical details, allow me to show a little video that is going to let you guys see what the past year or so many of the customers of ours have been using our technology and applying this technology in different applications. So without further ado, I'm going to just play the video. It's amazing how you can apply all this technology in a very, very wide range of applications, as you see in this video here. And in fact, I'm actually standing inside an actual XR stage just right next to you guys. So if you guys, I'm hoping you guys are dying to see some of the behind the scenes and some of the technologies, what actually makes this all happen. So if you guys don't mind, you guys can step over to the other studio and you can come and actually take a look at this stage right now and see some of the technologies that is driving all of this. Feel free to, you guys can stand all the way over here, it's fine as well.
It's almost three-dimensional.
Hello, welcome. Nice to see you guys in person, finally. It was a little virtual over there. So here we've got our XR stage, or a lot of the sort of the typical applications or how people have been using this technology. So what is extended reality? How is actually that being used in these kind of applications? So this is a picture of sort of the director's view. You guys are the directors. You guys are the crew that are on set. And it's very much similar in sort of what's happening in this photo. You've got lighting overhead just to light me, to light up myself and things like that, light the stage and everything. And of course, on the side, you've got sort of all the multi-views, all the program outs, and all the technical little bits so that everyone on set knows exactly what's going on, all the things that are happening behind the scene, all the signal is there, checking, making sure everything is okay. And of course, right over there, we've got a camera track, just like here. I am a real actor or a presenter standing inside this LED stage, LED floor and LED screen. And as you can see, this is the added benefits, compared to sort of your traditional green screen applications, right? You're standing in a green screen environment. I'm not going to be able to see the screen. I have no idea what's going on. But inside an XR stage, this is the benefit. We are able to use the LED that is behind me and actually show to the presenter or anyone who steps in, anyone who's here to take a look, and you guys get the perfect line of sight. You guys can tell that, or from the presenter or guests that are coming into this environment, they can look at this video and see, look, this is what's actually going to be the program out. This is what's being shot, right? So I will go through some of the other, what each of the screens are showing and things like that a little bit later on, right? But you've got all of these things, and I'm holding a water bottle. Just so happen it's, with the traditional green screen, you've got this issues, right? If you ever have a water bottle, there's a massive pain in the rear end, and it's fine because I'm not keying anything out. This is the content that is behind it, so you don't have to worry any of that. And of course, for the post-production world, all of the lighting, you can make use of all of that and don't have to worry about all of those things. So I'm just going to go in and take a look at each of sort of the pillars that we think is very important to this whole disguised extended reality workflow. And the first one is the in-camera screens. So this is sort of the what I was talking about, right? When you compare it to traditional green screen applications, right? You've got this issue of a water bottle. You've got our company dress code is all black. So we don't have that issue, but if any of the talent is wearing anything that is green or blue, so any kind of green screen, blue screen will have that issue, or even the green spill, so there's no green spill. All of that lighting is coming from around me and is real, and there's nothing to worry about of the reflection that is on any kind of material that is going to be here. If I'm holding like a silver plate, I don't have to worry about it reflecting this green space and then it being keyed out completely. So you can have large flexibility on sort of what's being on set. And some of you might have done some research online and seen, some of the TVs or like Netflix, this Disney Plus sort of TV series. They've been using this technology now to make that whole production much faster because they don't have to worry about the whole reflection. From the post-production point of view, they can shoot everything directly and it's almost ready for the final output. Maybe just a small touch-up on the color and a little bit. But if the director wants to make any adjustments, you can use our software and just tune the color. And the director can see immediately what it looks like. In the traditional workflow, they'll have to wait till the CG guys have finished all of the things. Then the director can say, okay, what looks good, what does not, how do I make changes? And then you have to rebook the talent for another shoot? That's going to be a nightmare, right? So that's why green screen, this is a great application. And here, a much more simple example, just like in this kind of environment. This is Winter Olympics 2018. Amy Fuller, snowboarder, just got off the slopes, jumped into sort of a TV interview kind of box, And if this was a green screen, right, she's staring at a blank wall that is just green. Imagine that experience as an athlete or anyone who's not used to standing inside a green screen applications and try to have an interview or conversation. It'll be very, very awkward. For me, I don't know how they do it for TV presenters. And even for TV presenters who have been doing and trained to do this every single day, it's still a little awkward for them. They still rely on a comfort monitor on the side in order to see what's going on. But now they don't. You know, any talent can come in, they have reference as to how the space is and know how to step around certain things or point to certain things. And of course, in order to do all of this, one very key important thing is camera tracking, because we want to know where the camera is. So that's why we need to track it. Why we want to know where the camera is because we want to be able to create this illusion, right? Look, right now I'm standing in a very squared space, but then from what the actual final output looks like is not a very squared space. This is a circular stage that I'm supposed to be standing in. But I know if I stand right over here, this is the edge of that stage. I have these visual cues. I know where I'm standing. So that's the other benefit as well. Right over here, we've got a, as you can see, our cameraman is just panning around. And just to show you guys, look, we are actually tracking this camera. And you guys can see as we're panning over, you know, you guys, the camera obviously is pointing at you, but you guys are being keyed away and not be spoiled by all of that. And that is all done by our system, tracking, understanding where the camera is. And we are now then able to generate the correct perspective for the camera. And if my colleague actually then fades away that virtual world, then you can see, or the camera slowly pans back, you can see we're actually overlaying all of that content. That's all because we understand where the camera is, and that's all due to the camera tracking system. But of course, different applications, you might want to use different ways of tracking your camera. Right over here on the floor, you see these dots on the floor. Those are for the tracking system. This is the Moses tracking system, using these markers as references. But there are other applications where you cannot put these markers on the floor. That's fine. We also work with those markerless, no marker tracking system as well. And the other thing is we allow you to mix and match on the same projects as well. So if you were to actually have multiple cameras, you can now use different applications or different technologies to track that camera depending on where that camera needs to go. So that's the other benefit there. And then we actually make use of the LED that is actually in this space. We display these little dots, these patterns, then we figure out from our system the size of the LED, the orientation of the LED relative to the camera position, and then also we actually then figure out the lens distortion because we know what that pattern looks like, and as it picked up from our system, we can then also calculate the lens distortion as well. So we do all of that in one go, and we calculate all of this thing. That's why you don't see any of sort of this weird lens distortion from the program out. And then of course, after knowing where the camera is, the other part is all the real-time generative stuff. Without the real-time generative content or the engines that are behind it, we cannot generate those content in real life. And we work with Notch, and as from what I know, you guys might have dabbled a little bit in Notch as well. So we've been working with Notch for a long time, from the very beginning, basically, from when they were doing a lot of live events, all of the IMAX effects that have been used on a lot of the tours. Now being able to apply some of that in the extended reality applications. And of course, Unreal is another massive real-time rendering engine, and a lot of content is being rendered in Unreal as well. And just like the camera tracking system, we also allow you to mix and match in the same project, same platform. The whole workflow is exactly the same in order to calibrate everything and put stuff into the 3D world. All you need to do is just generate that whole 3D environment. And this whole background, that this virtual environment that I'm standing in, is rendered in Unreal. So one of the screens on the bottom right over there, and also on the bottom on that side as well, that's an Unreal project running in the background. And actually, in fact, if we actually start moving the camera, you might be able to even pick up, there's a small little virtual camera in the Unreal scene moving around as well. And then, of course, we can then also bring up augmented reality elements into this scene as well. So as an example, my colleague's going to bring up a AR F1 car. Of course, here, I'm not going to be able to fit an F1 car, nor are we that rich to actually afford to have one in real life. But, you know, this is the extra added benefit as well, right? This is a virtual element. This is being keyed in front of me. So this is the whole idea of the back plane and the front plane. There are content that are behind me, just like this Unreal world. And there are elements that are in front of me, just like this F1 car. And with the added benefit, I can actually project that content onto this physical space. So even though if this car is a virtual element, I can, as a presenter or anyone who's standing in this space, actually get some reference, visual cues where the car is. I know if I'm standing right over here, I'm standing right next to the car. And just like similarly right over here. And I know if I walk around here, I know I can avoid the car and not stand in front of it. So that's the other benefit. And if you decide at any time to move this car around in this physical world, all of these visual cues will be moving. You don't have to rely on another person coming into the green screen space and put another marker down. And then the talents, now there are like 5 markers on the floor. Which one is which? He or she's going to forget which one it is. So that's the other benefit here as well. So you can then tie in some of these things, allowing whoever's standing here to also know not just what's behind he or she, but also what's in front of him or her as well. So I'm going to ask my colleague to take away the AR car. It's a little big. And then last but not least, the whole disguise workflow. Just like in the beginning of my presentation, we have this idea of, for any kind of productions, you can preview all of these things ahead of time in our software. And in one of the screens right over there is our software interface. So it's the middle screen on that side, and we don't have it on this wall. It's sort of maybe behind there as well. So that's the actual interface. So you can see that whole 3D world is exactly just like here. All of the LEDs that are being controlled, you can preview all of that. I can preview where the camera is. I can preview all the camera angles. I can even preview, if we can bring up the car, we can even preview the car as well. So any of these things, you know, you can preview all of that and understand, like, is it in the right place? Is it going to look weird? So you can build all of those. Even your content can adjust ahead of time purely from the software without any of this. You don't have to have an actual LED to start making the content and think about, wait, does that look correct? Does that look, how do I make it look better? And the whole idea of us sitting in the middle of the artists, creative, and technical engineers is allowing each of the team to work independently and focusing their efforts in what their specialties are, but then also coming back together and using the same platform to talk to each other and communicate how some of each of the things are going to affect each other as well. So yeah, so that is overall how XR works, or an XR lab or XR stage is going to be. You don't have to use an LED cube. You can put this LED in any shape you want, and we can accommodate for that. But otherwise, that's about it. That's my presentation. Just a recap of all 5 pillars. So you've got your in-camera screens, you know, the screen that is physically there, and all the lighting reflection that I get basically for free. Camera tracking, any kind of tracking system, Moses, Stipe, NCAM, you know, mechanical tracking system, or any 3D protocols, we can accept those. generative content with Notch and Unreal, adding all of those elements and compositing them just like your typical kind of 3D or any kind of timeline content production kind of workflow, just layer those on top of each other and you get your augmented reality contents. Even if you can have another tracking system, I can have that car follow me or something like that. And then last but not least is the disguise workflow. Preview everything before you even move in. You can understand all of the technical difficulties or things that you might need to run into and how you can make those changes ahead of times. So yeah, any questions?